It was the perfect winter day. A layer of fresh snowfall made everything feel soft and quiet, but for the happy buzzing of the farm. I paused at the entry of the main barn and breathed it in, smiling at the soft lowing of the reindeer as they wandered into the pasture to greet the sunrise. With only a week until Christmas Eve, the North Star Reindeer Sanctuary was at the height of its busiest season. Out-of-town guests were flooding into the North Pole and traveling to the sanctuary to visit the reindeer, shop the small handmade market on site, and gobble up holiday treats by the basketful, straight from my grandmother's oven. "Lumi?" Turning, I raised a hand to get my mother's attention as her voice carried across the snow-covered pasture. I'd been up before the sun, working to get the farm ready for the day's visitors. Water troughs needed to be refilled, and de-iced in some cases. The reindeer all needed to be fed, and the older ones needed their daily medicines and supplements. "You're still in your coveralls?" Mom said, stepping underneath the overhang of the main barn to join me. My mother, Diana Northrop, was in her late 50s, with the same dark hair and prominent brows as me, though her chestnut hair was thinner and had a few streaks of silver, which she fussed about but never bothered covering with dye. "Of course I am," I replied, heaving a bag of feed up to rest on my hip. "I haven't finished getting the troughs filled." "Lumi," she sighed, giving me a once-over. "I thought you were going to help your grandmother today. You can't serve the guests wearing dirty coveralls with your hair all windblown." I frowned. "I checked in with Grandma this morning. She said one of her friends from the bingo hall was going to help." My mother shot a flat look toward the large farmhouse, a few hundred feet from the barn. "I told her I needed you to—" She stopped short, capping her frustration with a little grunt. "What's the big deal?" I asked, moving into the barn, my gait a little off as I hauled the 50-pound bag of feed along with me. With Stephen and the family off at Santa's workshop for the day, I thought I'd lead the visitor tour. "It's just, well, "Mrs. Northrop?" a male voice called. Mom and I both swung around. At the entrance to the barn, a stocky man in his late 20s stood, wearing dark jeans, work boots, and a green flannel shirt. He smiled at me, raising one gloved hand. "Hey, Lumi." "Hi, Sven." I shot my mom a sideways glance. "I didn't know you were back in town." Mom wrung her hands together, then plastered on a smile.